Good afternoon. I'm Marcy Yoder from United Way, the Community Impact Vice President. And it is my pleasure today to be here to introduce to you one of our community impact partners who's been doing a lot of work in our community. As you heard earlier, we have 67 organizations who've joined with us to look at how do we reduce poverty and how do we change our community. The Matthews House is one of those partners. Jerry is here as the ED, and she's brought some additional guests with her, Anne and Miranda, and so I'm going to turn the stage over to them to let you find out a little bit more about what's happening there, and also hear a personal story of a family that's had a change in their life because of the services that are provided. Thank you.
Thank you, Marcy and United Way, for inviting us to share about our collaborative effort at our Community Life Center here in Fort Collins. As I reflect back over the last 4 years, when I first heard Jim Drindle, our County Child Welfare Director, talk about the old social work model of settlement houses being a key factor in the success of child welfare in Columbus, Ohio, I was intrigued. His dream for bringing that model to Larimer County collided with my dream of creating space, a bigger space at the Matthews House, a place where community members could feel a sense of community, a safe place to ask for help, to meet their family needs before life started to spiral downward, a place where hope could be restored. Relationships could be healed, a space for all people to enrich their lives and shape positive futures for themselves. So when the Matthews House was asked to be the lead agency in this effort, my mind automatically went into coaching mode. For 18 years, I coached high school and collegiate sports. Day in and day out, every thought and action was about teamwork. Day in and day out, that's what I lived. Collaboration in any scope of work is really about building a team. As in team sports, one person is not the solution, only part of the solution. This collaboration wasn't about the Matthews House and what we could do. It was more about the Matthews House being able to build a team of many community partners to come together for one purpose. I knew right away this process would involve 3 stages: pre-season, in-season, and post-season. Pre-season included discovery meetings with various groups and agencies. A family consumer council was organized through efforts of Jim Drindle and his staff to gain community input. This group was comprised of more than 50 individuals, which made up 6 task forces. Then came a feasibility study and focus groups led by CSU's social work research team to gain relevant information about whether we even needed settlement houses in Larimer County. Jim consulted with Eric Finner, his counterpart in Columbus, Ohio, and invited him to speak to us about their success with families through the settlement house model. Then we took a trip to Columbus to see a winning team in action. We visited 7 different settlement houses. Then there were several meetings with Dr. Jerry Wilson, then superintendent of Poudre School District, city and county officials, and out of these meetings came the offer for an underutilized school in Poudre School District, Fuyana Learning Center, to be our first community life center. This is the type of work that needs to be done in pre-season, laying the crucial groundwork, talking about shared expectations, each team player's responsibilities, their strengths, their skill sets, at the same time keeping the dream alive and well in our minds. The dream of working collectively with families to help grow our community stronger. So on July 12th, 2012, the lights in the gym were officially turned on. It was time to take the court at 225 North Grant. You know, the most important component during the in-season is effective communication, clear and to the point. You meet as a team to share, realign, affirm, reinforce, take the court, and then start the whole process over. Effective communication involves reviewing the stats, the data, the critical information that helps a team make minor and sometimes major adjustments in order to do the best work possible. Without that crucial information, progress cannot be realized. We had a well-defined team with goals and expected outcomes. The collaborative was taking on a life of its own, however, because we continued to get input from those coming to the Community Life Center. They identified barriers to furthering their education and barriers in finding a living wage job. One of those barriers was childcare. We then implemented children's activities so moms and dads could bring their children with them and their children could be in educational activities while they were in class. A community member approached us about healthy living and wanted to start Zumba classes. My response, why not? Today, we have over 40 people showing up on a regular basis for Zumba 3 times a week. That was a community member's idea. I observed recently parents in GED, computer, job readiness, and ESL classes while their children were doing crafts, playing games, and engaging in soccer and basketball. The Matthews House staff provides the children's activities, but other agencies provide the education classes. Front Range Community College, Education and Life Training Center, CSU Extension, Poudre School District, our local library, and many more bring their services to the Community Life Center. Yes, as a collaborative effort, we built it and they came. Why? Because it's a centralized location where many needs can be met for many individuals by many organizations. The Matthews House staff does their part in helping the families develop their own game plan and then support and cheer them along the way. Even though the in-season continues for the families we serve, the collaborative effort must move into a post-season, a time to collectively evaluate the season, determine what worked well, what didn't, and possibly bring in new players, new activities, and then get ready for another preseason to implement the new ideas to bring about even better outcomes for families. To better understand what kind of outcomes help make our community stronger, I think it's really best for you to hear directly from one of our program participants. I would like now to invite our Community Life Center Director, Ann Robinson, to introduce an amazing family member that has been an encouragement to all of us.
Hi, everyone. I don't usually get an opportunity to speak in front of so many people, so bear with me. As the director of the Community Life Center, I have the pleasure to meet individuals and families from all walks of life. They all inspire us at the Community Life Center to be better every day. Miranda is one of our participants who faced some significant barriers to self-sufficiency. She was brave enough to seek support from as many community resources as she was able. I know that Miranda will inspire you all the way she has touched us, our hearts at the Matthews House, Education Life Training Center, Colorado State University, and Crossroads. Thank you.
My name is Miranda Webster, and I was asked to share with you my story about how the Matthews House Community Life Center has helped me over the past 8 months. I lost everything my kids and I owned, including housing, when I left a domestic abuse situation. I had only lived in Fort Collins for 9 months, and after my time was up at a local shelter, I had nowhere to go, not even money for a hotel room. I was sad at the thought of being homeless after surviving and fighting to permanently get out of my domestic abuse situation. I felt very afraid and lost. But the Matthews House came to my rescue. They came to my aid immediately after learning of my situation, meeting with me, and hearing my story. They didn't force me into a system, but met me exactly where I was at. They went to every length to find a host home for me and my 2 boys. By giving me the opportunity to be in a host home, it stabilized me so I could be self-sufficient. It gave me an opportunity to gain employment, to get my children into daycare, and to save money to get my own apartment. Faith in me and my character, it gave me a chance to prove my potential in a stable environment. It gave me hope that I could not just support myself and my children free from domestic violence, but to go far beyond that and fulfill my personal hopes and dreams of helping others who have been where I have been, and to break generational curses for my children so they will never be influenced by violence and poverty again. We are now living on our own, and we are self-sufficient, and I have been able to go to court and win complete and full custody of my children. I am enrolled in taking classes at an educational life training center and have applied to Colorado State University's social work program. Whenever I stop in at the Community Life Center, Ann helps me with anything I need, either for that day or for helping me with long-term needs and goals. If I had not been a part of the host program at the Matthews House, there is no doubt in my mind that I would have no choice but to have gone back to my home state where my abuser lives, and because of the severe nature of the violence, I don't think I would be alive today. Because of the Matthews House, the programs there, the Community Life Center, and the people involved in this organization, I now have a forever family. Sometimes adults need to be fostered and adopted too. Everyone deserves a family and a place where they belong. The importance of a stable place to live is immeasurable, not just emotionally, but without it, it is literally impossible for a person to have the opportunity to empower themselves in becoming self-sufficient. I am so thankful and grateful to the Matthews House for helping me, for supporting me, and most of all, for believing in me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Miranda, for sharing your story. So in closing, just remember that collaboration and collective impact is about teamwork. It's about gathering together many advisors for the welfare of all. It is about moving the needle for community impact, but it must be individualized. It cannot be one size fits all. It's about helping individuals, and then a few more individuals, and then another group of individuals. It's about giving back, reciprocity. It's about the powerful proverb that says, "He who refreshes others will in turn be refreshed." That is when we will truly see collective impact within our community. Thank you.